So, and welcome back to another episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast. Today we are going to go through another episode or another part of Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People, one of the most amazing books that I've ever gone through, once again. So let's actually see, there it is. I should kind of remember where I've stopped. I at least hope, let's put it like that. But still, I'm gonna scroll and also show you. There we go. And I guess we've actually been able to get quite far. Why? What just happened? The power moves Dale Carnegie. Probably gonna be able to find it like this. I at least hope. Yeah, there it is. Or there it should be. Why? Let's then take this one, I guess. And yes, this looks kinda good, but just kinda, Give him a fine reputation to live up to, praise every improvement. Yeah, we've stopped with let the other person save face. So, principle 6, praise every improvement. If you want people to keep improving, give them praise for every improvement. He will feel good for doing well and will be motivated to keep going. My note, Carnegie is basically suggesting here to use positive reinforcement in what in psychology is known as operant conditioning. By hearty in your appropriation and lavish in your praise. And I think it really does make sense. I guess we can all agree on that it is a good idea to praise people. It is a good idea to give people the assumption, no, not the assumption, to give people, what did I want to say? The feeling of one being proud of them and one thinking that whatever they're doing is good and great and whatnot. It kind of really just makes sense. As so many things in this book make sense, and also so many things that I've been talking throughout the years about, and things that stayed in my mind and were in my mind, they all are sensical, they all make sense, and well, yeah. If you want people to keep improving, give them praise, yada yada yada. Give him a fine reputation to live up to. When you give people a good reputation, the tendency is to act in accordance with their reputation. It is partly because being found out is not as good would hurt us, and partially because we want to keep that good trait real. Identity drives behavior, so when people start liking and believing in a new identity, they will act accordingly. Which kind of also makes sense, but I just think about how you could use this, you're such a good person. I know that that you would say that, then of course you kind of are establishing some sort of a reputation. If this is the truth or not, well, difficult, really, really, really difficult. But I would argue that it doesn't make too much sense if you kind of lie about that shit, So, why would you? Principle 8. Encourage make the faults easy to correct. If a task seems too big or if people feel like they are far too unskilled to accomplish it, they will lose heart and fail to act. Encourage them instead to build up their ego and make the effort seem within their grasp. They will be motivated to act. Encourage make the fault seem easy to correct. Which, kind of all these rules, they can be sticked together to some degree. I mean, yeah, I know you can all use them in what did I want to say? You can all use them in the same way, no, not in the same way, but at the same time. Yeah, this is what I want to say, which is amazing, which is great. The question then is, are they even better if you combine them, or do they also, to some degree, kind of, diminish their own effectiveness by being combined with another one? Anyway, make him happy about doing what you suggest. When you want someone to do something, make them feel happy and proud of the task at hand. Tell them their rare skills and talents make them the best fit for the job. It really sounds manipulative, but it just works, and I can also feel that it works. Of course, I think the best suggestion, the best thing to do, the best use of these techniques, the best use of these principles is indeed to use them for good. And not good for yourself, but good for the other person. I mean, a lot of people, I think, have skills, have also very rare skills and talents they are not too fully aware of. A lot of people do not really know what they are good at. And sometimes an outside person can see that. Sometimes an outside person can notice that and can point that out. And this is amazing. This really is amazing, because you can make somebody else's life just way better by you just pointing out things and then giving them an opportunity to see that this is even the case. Of course, then, well, if it is not the case, it is a bit of a fucked up situation. It really is, but still. Part 5, making your home life happier. The section was included in the original book, but not in the revised version. I do not even remember which one that I've read. It could indeed be easily summarized as saying that all previous principles apply to your relationship as well. The most interesting for me were: don't nag/criticize, and don't judge, motherfucker. Don't try to change your partner. Your partner is who they are. Well, this is a really difficult one for me. Of course, we all are our own person. We all do our own thing, and so on and so forth, and yada yada yada, and whatever. But I don't know, if you clearly notice that something is off and should be changed, why shouldn't you mention that? Why shouldn't you point out, like, okay, your diet is a complete mess. It is a complete piece of shit. Maybe you should be doing something about that. Period. Like, why not? On the other hand, of course, if it is something that is very subjective, and well, a good diet, it is also subjective. It really, to some degree, is. But I would also argue that there are some fundamental and objective points that make a healthy diet, at least. But of course, when somebody likes a certain type of clothing, this person just likes a certain type of clothing. And this is fine. I mean, in the end, when you're having a partner, when you are in a relationship, this person that you fell in love with, probably, or maybe hopefully, I mean, there is a reason for that. It's kind of the exact same thing as saying, okay, if I had done this and that and the other thing, I would be in this and that or the other position right now. Yeah, okay, this may totally be the case, but you could have also died. when you did that back in the days, when you've done this, when you've taken this decision or this option, whatever it may be. Well, in the end, regret is a really necessary thing, because we do not know how things would have turned out anyway. I can't tell, you can't tell, nobody can. And well, might be the same thing with your partner. Maybe you would have never felt in love with this person if this person wore different type of clothes, even if it is not your favorite. But this might just be a part of their personality, and by changing that, maybe back in the days, it would have changed quite a lot of things, which then would have turned out not to please your eyes then, or please your head then, or something. I think that you know what I mean. Give honest appreciation. Yes. I think whatever relationship that might be about, whether it is a love relationship and whether it is just a friend, tell them how much you appreciate them, and also do it out of nowhere. Just texting somebody, well, I just want to tell you that I really appreciate the way you do X, the way you say X, the amount of improvement that you did. I really appreciate that, and I really respect that. What about saying that? What about thinking about the other person, how they would feel? If somebody came up to them, or somebody would come up to you and be like, okay, I really appreciate that for you, and wholeheartedly say that. It is amazing, and it feels amazing. And I don't understand why it is so common to get down people and talk them down and just basically make them understand and make them notice that whatever they are done, or whatever they are doing at the time, that it is no good, that they could be doing it better, and just, always kind of focusing on the negative parts of everything. It's a fucked up thing. If somebody's doing something fucked up, well, you should probably also tell them. But there are various different ways in which you can tell people something. On the other hand, if somebody's doing something good, you also tell them. If you appreciate something, tell them. And you really should. We all really should. I mean, well, in the end, maybe this then would lead to overusing that and whatnot, but anyway, don't overemphasize the details. That's a really interesting one. If you're interested in relationship books, head over to my relationship book summaries. Really good book on the sexual side of marriage. Have I read that, or was it just my head? Yeah, I would say as well. And I also love languages. Just figuring out what is important for the other person, and then respecting that, and then doing that. Because first of all, there is knowing and noticing, and then you can do something about it, and then you can change something. But at first, you really gotta notice things. You really gotta know things, and yeah. I don't know, just at this point in time, it just gives me a lot of energy to, tell people, my mom, I don't fucking know, friends, people that I really highly appreciate, how much I appreciate them. And I mean, if you're texting them, of course, calling them might be the best thing to do, but on the other hand, a lot of people just do not want to be called, period. They really dislike that. Therefore, maybe a voice message might be a really good idea. And tell them, hey, I appreciate you such a lot. Thank you very much for who you are, for what you do, for the person you are. Thank you. Just really appreciate that. Yeah. Real life application. Appreciate more. Most of us would do great in remembering this very simple advice. Appreciate, compliment, and encourage more. But it should be genuinely meant and honest. If you think that, and by the way, being this type of person, that seemingly, at least this is what it feels like for me, I do not have like data and or text passages or passages to show you, okay, this is what Dale Carnegie also meant, but I'm not seeing a manipulative person. I'm not seeing a person that does bad. I'm seeing a person that does a lot of good things, that is helping other people, that makes other people's lives easier and better by being there. And this is essentially something that I want to do, or I want to be. I want to be a person that indeed, if I'm gone at some point, in 2 years, I do want to be remembered as a person that did a lot of good, and that was always there for important people. This is who I want to be, and this is also what I'm gonna do, essentially, hopefully. Maybe this is just my goal, my overall life goal, like a legacy, having a good legacy, and being a good person. And by the way, at this point in time, it kind of has proven to me that overall, being a good person is good. Overall, in every single fucking aspect of life, being a good person is always going to be good. Period. Also when it comes to relationships, also when it comes to business, also when it comes to this, that, and the other thing. It is always good, it is always great to be nice and kind, appreciating, encouraging. It's always good. It really is. And I heavily dislike this thought of, okay, if I'm just too nice of a guy, I'm not gonna get any girls. Well, which type of girl may that then be, huh? Think about that as well. Put yourself in their shoes. Whenever you need to engage someone for a crucial conversation to better understand their needs or to lead with what is in front of them, it is a great habit to always put yourself in their shoes first. It doesn't mean you concede they are right, but it means you consider their perspective. Cons. Structure principles last. Carnegie first tells the examples and then gives readers the principle. While we do learn via examples, and the aha moment is great to burn concepts into your head, I think it is most useful to give the main concept first. As I explain in my Reading Effectively guide, when we know what is coming, we prepare our mind for learning. Yeah, I do really understand that, and I think it really does make sense. This is partly also one of the reasons why I think that going through a summary at first and then going through the real book is also quite a good idea and also quite a good strategy to learn even more. Geared towards average Joes. Carnegie's principles work. Keep in mind though that the highest achievers appreciate the truth too. Even if it might hurt them at the beginning, they want people who can tell it as it is. And by the way, this is something that I highly appreciate. I don't know why I'm so emotional today, but one person in particular that I certainly love really a lot. And this certainly is also one of his qualities. And also another person as well, as I just remember, but telling me when I fucked up, telling me when I'm doing something that I should not be doing, telling me that something is a bad idea, giving me honest feedback about something, even if I've given them good feedback at first. Okay, you did a fucking good job at designing this. I don't want to hear that mine is good just because of that. I don't want to hear that I am good just because of whatever the fuck I did yesterday. I don't want to hear the real shit. Period. I don't want to kind of be sugar-coated and some shit like that. I don't fucking care about it. As Ray Dalio says, for top achievements, you must love the truth even if it hurts. And it doesn't even have to hurt, by the way. I encourage you to take care of what you build your esteem around. Read my article on how to build an anti-fragile ego. Yeah, building self-esteem on things that you cannot lose. Therefore, also building self-esteem on your body is not essentially a really good idea, because at some point you're going to lose it. At some point you're not going to look the same way as you're doing right now, and this is then not going to be the best position to be in. It's not going to be pretty amazing. Lastly, I'd like to add that some individual might interpret your ego-protecting and pain-avoiding attitude as weakness. Make sure you use these techniques because you care about people or because you want to achieve certain results, but not because you are afraid of being blunt and honest. Yeah, which kind of is also part of the thing that I was talking about before. I want to hear things as how they are. That's it. Period. I don't want to be lied to. Even if, lying per se, if somebody lies to me, well, is that such a big a deal for me? Depends on the person, obviously, it really does. But I don't know, like there's probably always a reason for doing so. But I don't know. This is it. I do actually want to quickly check out. There's actually a few things that I would have liked to check out now. But let's actually go for the thank you. For the relationship books that do not really exist. Or do not even exist. The point that I want to bring home, the point that I want to point out is be a good person, be a person that you're proud of being. Whatever this might mean for you, is probably something different for us all. It's probably something different for me than it is for you. But still, I'd say that there are probably going to be some things that we have in common, that are just being good and whatnot. But yeah. There we go. Red pill, manosphere, feminism, relationship reviews, self-development reviews, dating and seduction. I mean, dating and seduction is not the same as relationships, isn't it? Attraction explained. Body language, all those body language books. Great. I still do. Never chase man again. 33 dating secrets to get the guy, keep him interested and prevents dead end relationships. I would actually really love dating reviews for men. I would really love to know what this is about. I do want to see the bullshit. Essentially, women who love too much. I see. Seduction, attraction explained. Never chase man again. I do wonder though what the benefits would be for me right now. Bruce Bryan says a woman needs a few things: self-respect, a set of guidelines for rational decisions, and strong boundaries. Strong personal boundaries are not romance or man-centered but principle-centered. Ray Dalio recommends the same concept for success in life. High-quality men do not pursue women who fake disinterest and play games. They respect women with no tolerance for manipulation and time wasting. Yes, motherfucker. The author says women can get confused on whether they should play games or not, and he spells it clear for the reader. While withdrawing as a tactic can work, her actions are not based on self-respect. Reinforce his attraction and strain him to chase you. He suggests are not too available at the beginning. Being a challenge will keep his interest, but also serve to separate the lazy men who don't pursue from the ambitious ones. And if he doesn't pursue, he's just not that into you. I mean, it really does make sense, does it? I disagree here. Some cool guys will also stop pursuing if you don't give enough. Yes, this is then a fucked up thing, and you're fucked up essentially. Lots of losers will keep chasing instead because they have time and don't have any better. Or don't know any better. Essentially as well, yeah. I mean, still might be about priorities, but yeah. But this is actually pretty interesting from my perspective, or a man's perspective, let's put it like that. Don't play hard to get, but be hard to get. He analyzed that you should not play hard to get, but you should be hard to get. You should have an exciting and attractive life and be happy and content with your own life. That is the kind of women man wants to meet. Keep your life and hobbies, and since you are content with your life, you don't give up your hobbies, family, and dreams the moment you meet a guy. Similar suggestion to why men love bitches. Prioritize calls versus texting. This is bullshit. Texting is the player's medium if you want a man to take you seriously, and if he wants to screen out players, you should let him call you. If he refuses to call, it's because he wants to keep it casual and he's not a serious prospect. My notes, Lambert also recommends you encourage him to call you, and while you would also agree to go for calls, when the guy is a good prospect, I disagree, it will screen out players, yeah. Don't flake. That when you fail to show up, you communicate unreliability. And high quality men want women they can count on. Yeah, I would say so as well. Take responsibility. You know those people who always blame circumstances and it is never their responsibility? That's a fucking cool thing. I mean, generalizing it as being smart and self-aware and aware in general. Restrain your affection. Before he has shown his part, show restraint when displaying your feelings for him. Bruce says that key to a successful seduction is a mutual level of interest, and you will know based on his enthusiasm with you. Show flexibility and easy to please. It should be hard to have, but easy to please. Men know that adaptable women make for better long-term companions. The only men who will tolerate inflexibility are the pushovers kind of men. Don't be too assertive. Yes, I would say so as well. Yeah, don't have to read it. I agree wholeheartedly with this. Also read Submissive Women versus Strong Men, How to Be More Feminine, Why Career Women Fail at Dating and How to Fix It. Show vulnerability. I guess this is actually something that is suggestible to both sides. Show your love when the time comes. Brian says that most men do value emotional intimacy. When he has proven his worth, it is time to start escalating the emotional attachment. Show major appreciation whenever he does something good for you or for the two of you, and use your female tenderness to show your love proactively. If he responds in kind, keep him, otherwise next him. My note, 100% Brian nails it. Also read How to Make Him Invest with Mutual Escalation. And don't confuse great with right. Brian says a man could be great, but he might not be good for you because he won't or can't give you commitment. Okay, I see. Set high standard and enforce boundaries. Give him the joy of conquest. If everything is too easy and obvious, he will feel like he is slowly edging closer to filling the husband job position. Well, since it's already half an hour of me recording, I'm going to end the episode there. It's been a blast, and I'm hopefully going to see you the next time. So